So this is my homemade oxalic acid vaporizer. Get a whole picture of it. So it's got a wooden handle from an old broom, and then some threaded rod, and then this block of aluminum, which I cut this hole in the middle. And that I ruined a couple of drill bits and then kind of chewed up a Forstner bit because I didn't have the right tools. So next time I'll get a different, I'll get a milling tool. And then here you can see where the glow plug is. That's a diesel glow plug that came off of my old broken vaporizer. And I drilled, I had to drill two holes, so a narrow hole for the element and then a larger hole for the backing of that, or the back part of that glow plug. And then here, the threaded rod, I drilled that and tapped it out to fit so that I could just thread the rod right into there. On the side is a thermostat. So this is a temperature control that just sets on the side there, and it will stay on until it reaches 350 degrees, and then it shuts off. And then if the temperature drops down to 320 degrees, it turns back on again. So it will, in theory, keep my temperature in the oxalic acid vaporization sublimate range, rather than going so hot that it boils and becomes carbon monoxide water or formic acid. And so there you can see I ran one of the lines into the switch and then put the other line into the screw there to just ground it into the block, and then the other line from my battery is going to go straight to the glow plug. And that's the whole gizmo. Because this is my first model, I drilled some, I made some mistakes, and that first hole there is a mistake. And luckily though, I'm going to use it to put a turkey thermometer into so that we can see what the temperature range ends up being. So I'm going to start this thing up, I'm going to plug it in, and we'll see where it gets. So I've got it turned on, and you can see the temperature is already, I know that's a crappy picture. There we go. The temperature is starting to rise at 156 right now. And then I've got my voltage meter, and this is hard to do. I've only got so many hands. Let's see if I can do this. So for some reason, it's probably just because of the crappy wires. I'm not getting a full 12 volts to it, but that should be, I think that should be enough to get us to the temp, and we'll be able to see whether or not it turns off when we get to temp. So we're at 208. Now, just hit the yeah, don't know how to turn that off, so I guess it'll just beep. So now we're at 300. Is that beeping not annoying? Oh, there we go. 313, 315. So we've just hit sublimation temperature. So everything between 315 and 355, oxalic acid will sublimate directly into vapor. Anything higher, and it starts to break down, and the first breakdown is into water and formic and carbon dioxide, I believe. And then if it reaches 373, it breaks down into carbon dioxide, water, and carbon monoxide. So not a big temperature range there, so we really don't want it to get any hotter than that. So it seems to settle out at 366, the 336, and I wonder if that's the switch. And it's starting to drop temperature. So I'm going to check the switch. I'm not going to be able to hold this camera, but I'm going to check the switch and see if the voltage has gone on. So sure enough, that switch had gone off and there was no more voltage going into it. And so now it's gone down below sublimation temperature. And we'll see how far down it goes before it kicks back on. Alright, so it already came back on. I can't hold the camera and do this testing at the same time, so I'm probably missing some of these. But yeah, it looks like it's working great.